Okay, this is a video to go over this 427 FE block, Ford FE engine that I have. This is an engine that my father bought as a crate motor new from Ford in 63 or 64, and it's a 427 top oiler engine, complete crate motor. He actually installed it in this Ford the Galaxy 500 convertible when he first got it. Lived in there for about 2 years, and then he took it out, and actually it's just been under the bench ever since. It's spent about most of its life, sadly, hanging out under a bench. I'm going to be selling it on eBay soon, and this video is just, I'm going to basically put it up on the engine stand and pull the heads, pull the intake, pull the heads, and pull the pan, and film everything so that someone buying it can see what they're getting. And then also I think it'd be kind of fun to just see some of the nuances of what a 427 looks like. So I guess let's start out with looking at some of the casting numbers. What do we got here? Everything's upside down, of course. So we've got this one HP, maybe C1. I'll throw up some photos of this as well. This is the block casting number, kind of the important one, C3AE 6015AB, which says it's a 63 427 block. Also, you can kind of see these. It's got the 4-bolt mains with the side screws. So a little bit if you're just watching to learn about FE blocks, that these were skirted fender blocks, which were popular early on with V8 engines, and then they went away, and they're actually back now. The LS motors are skirted literally the same way as this. It's a good way to make a strong bottom end. I think in this era it made for sort of heavy blocks. They went back to it with the LS motors, I think, because they figured out how to cast blocks lighter and still be able to get the stuff in there. So back to this engine though, 427. I'm not really doing. My thinking is that whoever gets this is going to want to do a meticulous, probably original style rebuild. So my plan is not to really even clean it or anything. I'm just going to pull it apart and inspect stuff and document it, and then carefully wrap it all up and give it to the next guy or girl that's gonna redo it. Let's see. We saw that casting block. That just is the firing order for the intake. This is I think a 425 horsepower R-code engine. So it would have normally gone into a Galaxy 500, a 427 Galaxy, or I think it's the Thunderbolt is what they typically call them. Pretty much a lot of power for those days. So we've got another casting number. Another casting number, C3C1:3. I'm not sure what that means. It's not the block casting number, but probably a build date number. This is not a lot of light. Let's get the one on the other side for the head numbers. Can you see that? C3AE 6000 or 6090D. So, I know C3 means 63. The AE is specific to the casting, and the base part number I think is whatever that says. 6090 I think is like a cylinder head for Ford, and then D is another casting specific one. Again, this engine itself has not very many miles on it at all. About 2 years worth of street driving. Probably took it to the track a couple times. My dad's fish stories claims he could pull wheelies with this Galaxy. I don't know if I believe it, but I sure would like to believe it. So yeah, the 427s had the HP casting on the back of them there. I think that's about it for what I'm going to do for this section part of the video. Blink your eyes. I'm just going to go ahead and I already put the engine stand mount on, so I'm gonna cut now. Throw this thing up on the engine stand, and then start taking some. I'll take the manifold, the heads. Well, I'll take the valve covers off, show you the valves. Take the heads off, and the intake manifold, and the pan, just to kind of sort of show the condition of the internals. Let's take a look. Okay, so up on the engine stand. By the way, when I sell this on eBay, if you want the engine stand, you're welcome to it. It's a little bit tippy, old school, very heavy duty, so no problem holding the engine. maybe not so great for moving it around without tipping it over. But okay, so starting at the top here, we've got the dual quads. I can tell that my dad, when he pulled this thing out, he obviously, you can see he loosened up this bolt to look at it. That's not tight, and he took off both carbs because some of the bolts are, not super tight. It's been sitting like that forever. Linkage all still works. It's been inside, so didn't really have a chance to get wet or rusted up like some things do. This is the main linkage that comes from the throttle. I notice, let's see if you crack it. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Yeah, if you crack it, that guy works. This one doesn't. I think this might be locked out. The second choke. I'm not sure how that works because it doesn't release. Either it's not adjusted properly, or whatever. But probably wouldn't take much. It's not like anything's actually cracked or broken. Distributor. I don't think it's a stock distributor. I don't know what to say about that, other than you got one. It's good. It's also got this, I think, a fuel filter on the top. So some of this stuff is really hard to come by, so I'm gonna sell it hard, right? It's stock fuel pump, okay, whatever. The correct fuel line. This thing, I think it screws to. I think there's a bracket for like a power steering or something that goes here that sandwiches in between. But anyway, it screws to that. More fuel line from that filter up to the nice cool fuel log. Let me get it from this side because you get better light. There you go, to the fuel log, which goes up to the carbs. So that's all there. I'd say it's in perfect condition. Nice, yeah. The instead of PVC valves back in the day, right? They had these vents, and then of course there's a draft tube on the back. This one looks like I don't know. My dad might have modified it to fit. I think he had a C6 in the Galaxy, so that probably fits some tab on a C6. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. I think now I'm going to go ahead and pull off the distributor, pull off all these little accessories, carefully package them up, and then pull the valve covers and the intake manifold off, and that'll be the next thing to look at. Before I cut away from here, last thing I haven't shown you. Well, maybe really quick. I'll just show you the air cleaner. Right, we'll go to detail on this because everyone loves the air cleaner. Right, so 427 air cleaner. This is aluminum. I just wiped it down. You can see I didn't even try and clean around this much because I didn't want to possibly jack up any of the already somewhat scratched, black paint on the inlet or whatever. But I just wiped it down because it's shiny. Original 2 wing nuts. Of course, you'll want to replace this. I noticed that when these wing nuts are in place on this thing, they screw way down to like here. So I think you can do with like almost twice as thick of a filter as whatever this one he was running. I don't know. Maybe he was having some trouble with hood profile. And of course, you've got the underside. These things are in like bloody perfect condition. A little bit dirty, but man, I'm not even gonna try and clean it. That's part of the glory of whoever gets this thing, just to polish those up or whatever. Okay, so that's the air filter, kind of huge. And then there was one more thing, which this might be more of a car-specific thing, but hey, if you're gonna throw this in a Thunderbolt or a Galaxy, you'll want Thunderbolt Galaxy-specific trans kickdown. I'm not quite sure what this is. I didn't see where it fit in. It might just be a spare linkage that goes between the two carbs, or maybe a longer one for a different installation. Although he only ever, to my knowledge, put it in one car. Anyway, yeah. So then this is I don't know, some kind of a transmission kickdown. Again, my dad ran a C6, so probably this could bolt the motor up to a C6. Bolt this in place, and if you drop it in a Galaxy or a Thunderbolt, you're good to go. All right, so whoa, so close. Next step is we're gonna go ahead and pull off the accessories, valve covers, and intake, and see what the lifter valve looks like. Okay, so pulled off the valve covers. I swear, I just pulled them off. I did not touch the inside, so super clean inside. Again, super low mileage engine, kind of to be expected, but you know, pretty cool. I did notice over here the aluminum on the inside of this guy. It's got a little bit of a, I guess you call it corrosion, that kind of stuff. So clearly, you know, at least some humidity got in here. It didn't get, I can tell you, it didn't get like rained on or anything, but it's not super pristine. Also, a little bit of rust on the distributor plate. So that all would have to get at least taken apart and cleaned up. Not really rusty though. I don't know how easy it is to see this. There's rust. There's surface rust everywhere, but it's not like it's falling apart or anything. Anyway, that's this. It's crazy. I can't believe how. Can you see the? This thing pokes up like a 1/16 of an inch. The intake manifold gasket. I have no idea how that could possibly seal. I guess it's just poking up into the rubber of the poor valve cover gaskets. So back in the day, I guess a little bit of oil spurting out the back. I guess it wasn't a big deal to them. All right, so moving on to the intake manifold. Okay, this section of the video is for whoever actually ends up buying this thing. If you want to end up using the same push rods and lifters and cam, I went ahead and labeled the two rocker shafts. A D, there's a D on that one, and there's a P on the other side of this one here. P for driver side and passenger side. And then I don't really know what the right way to label valve or push rods is, but I just started on the passenger side, the driver's side front of the engine, and I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I started back at the front on the passenger side, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So probably not going to put these back in before I sell it. They're going to come in a bag, but hopefully you'll have this video. You can always refer back to it as to what order they're going in. All right, moving on. By the way, I wanted to just take a quick show of the tops of all the valve stems. Let's see here. This guy here I wiped off. I got a bright light. It's trying to show. I mean, it looks like there's little or no wear on them. This side, of course, looks beautiful. You know, no coking or anything. This other side, obviously, moisture got in, and it's not so pretty in here under the valve cover. The wear though is. If I wipe off the crud, it's pretty much non-existent. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, let's see if I get a light on here. Yeah, so again, I'm sort of furthering my assertion that not a lot of miles on this engine. So it's weird. I got all the bolts for the intake manifold out, and actually I just pried on a little bit, popped up pretty easy. It's amazing. You wouldn't think it'd be so light, but I guess it's aluminum, so. Yeah, I can like lift it. I'm used to cast iron FE intakes, but this distributor, my God, it's definitely cast in place here. It's weird. He didn't even have a clamp on it, but I haven't been able to move it yet, and I don't want to pound on it or anything. So I wasn't going to take the front cover off, but I think that's in the works here. Okay, so I'm changing my plan just slightly. Going to go ahead and zip off this front cover, and that way we can clean up whatever's keeping the distributor, and then we'll pull the intake off. Right, well, many of you were probably saying, why is he taking off the front cover? That doesn't give access to the distributor. Yeah, I knew that. I just thought I'd show you guys what's under the front cover. Yeah, you can get the first glimpse into the pan. That's kind of exciting. Looks like it's got this kind of good roller chain. I'm sure that's stock for a 427, a little bit more expensive than the passenger car one. So this thing was really mucked in there, and I couldn't get it to turn. I didn't want to scratch the outside. I put a piece of wood. Where's that piece of wood? Put a piece of wood in underneath and kind of gently tapped it. Okay, a little more than gently. So I got a piece of wood in right here like that, and I just kept tapping until it came up, and now it's free. So, well, almost free. It's coming out. So, moving on. I swear at some point we're going to get this intake manifold off. Okay, like I said, finally got it off. Intake manifold's off. I'm not going to lie, I did just a little cleanup here before I turn on the camera because this is the passenger side, oh sorry, driver side, and yeah, like this side over here, the lifter valley is exactly as I pulled it up. This one there was some crud in here, and it looked really bad, so I just kind of buffed it out of there just to give you a better view of what's really in here. These these lifter boards are going to need to be honed at least. You make the call as to their overall condition. I think these are mechanical lifters. I guess I don't really know, but I would guess. For those of you folks that are into not necessarily buying it, but I think this is the main lifter galley or the main oil galley for the lifters, right? So the oil pump comes up and services it from the front here. And I've heard what people do, because this also goes straight down to the crank, is they drill it here and tap it, and then they just run a separate hose line right down this way, tap it again here or here or here, and reconnect it. And what that does is it puts an equal amount of oil pressure on the back and the front at the same time, which stops oil starvation to the cam, to the lifters, and even I think to the crank on the back of these things. And that's to kind of make a top oiler engine oil system work close to as good as a side oiler system, which has a much bigger oil gallery down below. Anyway, that's just the history part. So cool, yeah. This is what it looks like. This is the bottom. You can definitely see. I keep saying condensation, but really, I mean, it's clear that, I'm not sure why, but at some point while I was sitting, some water got into this part of it and was sitting here, and it corroded it up. I don't know how bad it is. It's real clean down inside, so I'm still holding to my expectation that it's going to be really clean in the bottom end. We'll see that in a little bit. There's the little cover that goes over the lifter valley, and of course, like I was showing you, there's the bottom end of the intake manifold. Nice aluminum intake manifold. Got some plugs. It's pretty clean inside. Just sooty, just soot. All right. So let's see what's next. I think I'm going to stop the video here and make a two-part thing, because honestly, it's getting late and I'll have to finish this up tomorrow. But yeah, I think tomorrow what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the heads off, because I'm sure that anyone buying this wants to see what the cylinder bores look like, and yeah, see if any of that water got into there. And then so yeah, probably tomorrow I'll pull the heads off, inspect the cylinder bores, show you the insides of the cylinder heads, and then flip it over, pull the pan, show you guys all that stuff, and then you'll pretty much have a good idea of what you're buying if you buy this 425 horsepower 427 FE block to put in your Cobra or your Thunderbolt replica. All right, thanks. I'll see you guys in the next video.